Hello, Vudani here, and today I'm going to give you a PvP overview of the Ranger class in Guild Wars 2. The Guild Wars 2 Ranger is quite literally an amalgamation of almost every perception of a Ranger you might have right now. Much like other games you may be familiar with, Rangers have access to a wide variety of pets, all of which are very unique, having different attributes for each pet style as well as active skills that you can use for yourself. These active skills often apply conditions that are otherwise difficult to get with the Ranger. The Ranger's mastery of nature is not just bound to pets. They also have access to special skills such as traps and spirits. Traps provide many negative effects for your foes, while spirits will help your allies and those around you. One main pull to the Ranger that I've found is the use of the longbow, and rightfully so. The longbow is very powerful. Increasing in damage the farther away you are from your enemies, you're very strong at single target range DPS. Not only that, but the AoE from the longbow has been improved quite a bit in a recent update. This arguably gives the Ranger the best single target range DPS in the game. Having Quickening Zephyr and other spells that will grant you quickness also adds to this effect. Another thing that adds to your range DPS is the availability of pets. You have an incredibly large selection of pets to choose from, some of which can be defensive, others can be offensive. If you're able to manage your pet well, it's almost like people have to fight a person and a half. Another thing I really liked about the Ranger was the effectiveness of the Warhorn. Having a very easy to acquire buff that will almost work with any build is very useful for team play. Not only that, but the Warhorn's force skill is a very solid attack. This fact alone can almost justify a Ranger's presence in group fights. And lastly, the Ranger is a very durable class to play. Picking up a lot of the Ranger's defensive skills doesn't take too much away from their offense. Not only that, but they have multiple skills that are good for kiting. They also have very strong healing and buffing options. Unfortunately, while ArenaNet did do a very solid job with pet AI, there are still some issues I have. Notably, as a Ranger, you're going to be on ledges and on buildings and stuff, and sometimes pets don't respond as accurately as you'd like. It's also just generally difficult to keep track of pets sometimes in the fray of things. A lot of these problems are just personal preferences of mine. I'm not too big a fan of pets, but it is something of note. Another issue with Ranger is that they have very limited hard CC. Most of hard CC available to Rangers come from pets, and the rest is just pure damage, cripples, and chills. The Ranger does have a few very useful knockbacks to make up for this, however. It's always nice to just have a couple hard CC options. Lastly, I feel like the longbow, one of the Ranger's strongest weapons, has a few accuracy issues. It could just be that shooting from 1500 range causes some issues with hit detection, but I find a lot of arrows missing targets. This seems to be mostly random, but it can really screw you over at times. My overall rating for a Ranger's effectiveness in PvP is a 4.0. The Ranger's a very effective choice for hot join matches. It just can be very difficult to engage more than one person in close range. In tournament play, the Ranger has a couple good options for support, and they also have very survivable builds, making them great point defenders and just generally good assaulters. In World vs. World, the long-range attacks from the longbow make them very good at picking off targets. With 1500 range and strong single target damage, they're very useful for picking people off. As always, I hope this video was helpful. If you'd like to see the Ranger in action, feel free to check out the links on screen and in the description. If you're interested in seeing more overviews as well as builds, gameplay commentaries, and just general Guild Wars 2 theorycraft, feel free to subscribe. And thanks for watching.